Welcome back to the Icon Edit. This is episode 7. The Icon Edit is the podcast for, about, and with women. And today's episode is on a topic I'm genuinely, personally obsessed about. I can lose an entire day researching it, and it's skincare. My guest today is Athina, a skincare chemist, which means she's one of the people behind the scenes actually formulating the products we put on our faces. And in this conversation, we are getting into what's changed in skincare over the past 20 years, what is underrated, what is overrated, what marketing gets wrong, and what actually matters if you want results without wrecking your skin barrier. Let's get into it. Athina, I'm so happy you're here. I've been excited for this episode. For anyone new to you, what do you exactly do and how did you end up in cosmetic chemistry? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, first of all, for inviting me. It's been quite a journey in terms of the skincare journey that I had. I was never really into skincare since young age. I did go through a bit of acne here and there. I resolved it with a dermatologist, but then very minimal there. But once I moved to Dubai about 7 years ago, my skin completely changed. Back in London, my skin was combined, normal, nothing much there. Coming here within the first 6 months, eczema patches coming here and there, dryness coming through. And I did go through a lot of different iterations of trying different skincare, pharmaceutical as well, but it was not cutting it through. I am a bit of... I like to research things on my own, so I do like to I looked into natural, first of all, solutions, which were like essential oils. How can they help you, right? That led me down to a path of researching a bit more, getting a couple of courses in terms of essential oils and aromatherapy. But that opened a next door of looking into the natural skincare because, yes, oils are good, but oils are not just the one thing that your skin needs. It needs also water. And when water and oil combined, they don't mix. So how do you mix them? And there was the natural skincare path came through as a formulator. So I got a second certificate, which is in formulation from the from School of London. And that pretty much taught me about how natural products work, what are natural, what are not, right? What's the efficiencies of natural products? And there's always a trade-off. That's what I learned in my life. There's nothing 100% absolutely correct. There's always a trade-off. And the question is, what is a trade-off? And whether that trade-off is what you need. And for each of us, it's so personal, right? There's no one size fits all. So finalizing that part, I did go down the path of I know natural ingredients now, I know how to work with them, I understand them, but what about the synthetic ingredients? It's a huge part. All the vitamins that we use, retinol, niacinamide, everything is synthetically made. Natural identical, but synthetically made. So it's how do you know now which is good, which is bad, if I just know the one? So that led me to my third actually degree. Yes, it's been a long journey. As a cosmetic chemist, where you learn you actually understand much better, much deeper what synthetic ingredients are. Are they so bad as everyone says? Are they so good as everyone says? Where is the truth? And for me, I like to know the truth, if that makes sense, the objective truth, and from there on, share that truth so people can make the best decision for themselves. Because I do believe that this is where our strength lies, in terms of you have an issue, but no one should be able to tell you what you should do. Yeah. You should be given the options, and then you decide for yourself what is right for you.
Yeah. When it comes to understanding skincare, what is for you a green flag that someone understands skincare, or a red flag when you talk to people?
Hypes. The
okay,
moment I can see someone, especially this thing with the Korean hype.
Yeah, we will talk about that. I
have a lot of strong opinions.
We will talk about this later because I have a few questions about what's underrated, overrated, and so on. But what would you say is the biggest misconception about what a skincare chemist actually does?
What skincare actually can do and what not.
Okay.
Okay. There is one of the main reasons I started my own also skincare line. It's because there's so much. When you learn as a chemist, when you go through the training, you learn the logic of added extras, which is the marketing story of the product, which means you put inside different substances, could be natural, could be synthetic, but they are the story of the product. It's not actually what delivers the result. It's like when you go and buy your hair mask, right? And it has argan oil inside, and you're like, oh, the argan oil is going to nurture my hair. The argan oil actually works against the efficiency of the mask because the mask needs to wash off. It combines with the oils of your hair, and then it washes off. If you put too much argan oil, it cannot rinse anymore. So it works against it. It doesn't deliver anything. The actual things that deliver for your hair, it's the proteins inside, the hydrolyzed proteins. It's the additives, small molecular additives that actually penetrate deeper into the hair. But nobody's really talking about that because it's easier to sell something which is people can associate with, if that makes sense. Argan oil, oh, I know it, that's what it is. It's not that. But for me, it's very important, and that's what I'm trying to do also through my work, is that I'm trying to create this awareness, know where the benefits come from, because then you are in the driving seat.
Yeah.
You know how to choose your next product, or you know why that product worked for you or why it didn't work.
Yeah.
You can start making more informed decisions for yourself.
And one of your claims actually is science first, product second.
Yes.
What exactly do you mean by that, and how does it apply to the products you create?
Whenever I start working with a person as a customized skincare development, or we're just having a conversation within like the consultation part, I never start I always start with a part of where are you now? What are you happy about your skin? What you're not happy about your skin? I cannot diagnose anyone's skin. I'm expecting them to share where they are. And the very first part is that you need to have a healthy base. You cannot build anything unless the base, the skin barrier is healthy. Yeah. On that, you can start working, because if your skin barrier is healthy, it can handle inflammation better. It's gonna be able to absorb and retain all the nutrients that you're gonna put on it, and it can heal faster.
How do you measure that? So how can you know that you have a healthy skin barrier? Is there something you because I mean, that's really hard to say, right? When you look at someone.
So a healthy skin barrier would mean that there is no irritation. Okay. There is no redness. Mm-hmm. That if you touch your skin, you don't get straight away pimples, for example. Since I became more dry, as I sit and work, and I usually do this, I hold my chin, I always get here and here. And you can see them, actually, pimples coming through exactly as my hands fall on it. And that has to do with if I had more of an oily skin here, my barrier would be able to protect me from the aggressors, right? Yeah. The moment you become a bit drier, you have more reactive skin overall. So in terms of healthiness, it's all about how dull is your skin. Do you feel it like it's dehydrated? We all know when we look and we see, not in the pictures in terms of marketing nowadays, but you can see a healthy skin where it's like it has a natural we are supposed to have a bit of oil on our skin to protect us. We first strip it away with all ahas and behas, and then we slap on it all this Korean skincare to make it back shiny and over shiny sometimes. And
when you create this skincare products for your clients, because you said there is never like 100% like the optimal product, because I guess you have to compromise sometimes. So what are the compromises? Because I guess it's supply chain regulations, packaging, there is always something, right? That you have a trade-off, as you said.
So in terms of the way we make it at the skin, we manufacture everything at house. Mm-hmm. So we start from scratch with the product, we create the formulation, and we adjust it based on what your skin needs. In terms of, we first analyze your skincare routine. How many products are you using? What are the actives of this product? So we're actually going into the INCI list of each product and understanding how they complement or not complementing each other. And based on that, we create something which is complementary to adjust on whatever is your skin concern at this current moment. The compromise is always that not all the ingredients go together. I cannot create for you a product that does all the 5 things that you need at one.
Yeah.
We have to have a bit of prioritization there. And the second part is that you can have some results which are faster, but it's not going to be a natural product. So if you want to have 100% natural, you're going to have compromise a bit of an efficiency. You're going for something different there. But if you want to have something much more intense in results within the world of what the skincare can deliver, you can go and use a bit synthetic. But also I think there's a lot of misconception. Like, it's one thing to use a synthetic ingredient, which is 10% niacinamide, for example, versus using a preservative, which is not natural, which is synthetic. I think most of the times I did a couple of quizzes in the past, and I'm like, if you choose a product which it's 10% synthetic, or it's 0.1% synthetic, which one would you choose? And everyone is like, well, I would choose the 0.1. Well, if the 0.1 though comes from the preservative and the 10% comes from niacinamide, what do you choose now, right? And most of the products, when we look at them, they say 89% natural. It's not how much the natural is there, it's also where is it coming from. And it's a very important aspect to start owning that. Not like, I don't know, but there's so many tools online for free. You can scan the product and they analyze it for you. So I'm just trying to create that awareness, like, don't jump on the marketing hype of natural or of this. Know clearly, like, be more proactive in understanding what you put on your skin. It's our biggest organ, right, at the end of the day.
Absolutely. What would you say is harder to make, a good moisturizer, a good sunscreen, or a great vitamin C serum?
Oof. I would say sunscreen. Sunscreens are tedious to make. It's much harder because of the filters. Nowadays, more and more filters are coming through, which are more nicer in the touch, in the skin feel, because we had natural sunscreens long time now, but because they are very hard on zinc oxide, you would get this white cast. And then you will try to get it off. It just doesn't get off, right? When you try to wash it out. Nowadays, we have many more filters that are better. But also, like, my personal stance, I would not work with new ingredients that are currently just out, no matter how much innovative they are. In terms of, like, I am more on the safety side, in terms, like, give it at least 5 years to see. Once a lot of ingredients go through a lot of hard regulations to get released. But we're talking about small sizes groups, 10, 20 people, 30 people. They do have studies, yes. But again, we do see more and more things, especially when something is coming now, quickly, innovative. Usually you need to give it a couple of years at least to see what's the true data through a bigger population showing.
And with sunscreen, I mean, I think sunscreen in general, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated skincare products.
100%.
Most people, like especially men, to be honest, they don't know how important sunscreen actually is. This is crazy. And not to talk about older generations, like my parents. I think my parents never put on sunscreen. I have never seen them put on sunscreen, which is so bad. Because I'm not sure if it's true, but I read somewhere that 90% of your wrinkles in the face are from sun damage.
I'm going to forward you a photo of a driver. It's a very known photo. A driver who was sitting by the window because he was driving for hours, truck driver, and how half of his face is wrinkled and the other half is aged.
Oh, yeah, because the one is exposed to the sun and the other is not. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sunscreen, it's one of the biggest things you can do well for your skin. Like, if you don't do anything else, a good cleanser and a sunscreen, it can get you through for a long period of time. I'm sure after 30s, of course, more and more things would be needed, but it depends on what you need. The one thing that I'm very much against, like, skincare for children or skincare for like at the age of 14 or what I see, unless it's acne.
Yeah, sure.
There is no reason for you to do anything. Cleanse and put a sunscreen. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Your body does everything very well.
And when I look back at my own years as a teenager, all of my peers and me myself, of course, like problems with not maybe like serious acne, but also, you know, breaking out. So I remember there were not a lot of good products out there back then. And now there is like, not especially only for teenagers, but when I think about products like azelaic acid, let's say, this is so good for like acne skin. I didn't even know this exists until like, I don't know, like 8 years ago. So I so much have wished for something like that when I was younger. So what would you say when you compare skincare, let's say in 2005 versus now? What are the best changes that happened in that time?
I am quite science driven. So for me, what matters much, it's not just what is out there, but also how much studies are done on those ingredients. And things like azelaic acid, like retinol, niacinamide, they have been studied for a long time period. I think that back then we did have those ingredients, like they were available, but there was not so much hype about it back then. Like I don't.
And I think they were not available on a big scale because not a lot of companies were using them. Maybe you got them in the pharmacy.
The pharmacy, yes.
But not like in the drugstore or in the normal like Sephora or whatever.
But I don't remember back then, nor myself, nor friends of mine to be so, unless you had like an acne problem or something in a skin kind of like illness problem, you would just even not put sunscreen. You would put your powder, your makeup. Makeup was important.
Yeah.
Makeup was important, but who cared about the rest? Like cleansing, yes, but even that was basic.
And then they always, I remember, said, makeup is so bad for your skin. What do you say about that? Because I think that's actually not true because there is so much like skincare out there that also has good ingredients.
It depends on the makeup. And depends what type of makeup. It's a big spectrum. You can be on very light, you can be very heavy on it. If you're on the heavy side of it, you just need to be aware that your skin is not breathing. Yeah. So it needs a bit of more. It clogs
your pores.
It stops from breathing your skin, which means that you still need to, once you cleanse it, just give it time to breathe. It's an organ. Yeah. If you cover it constantly with a lot of stuff, especially the moment, because makeup is oil-based, most of it. It has oily ingredients inside. Oil doesn't allow all this thing to, all the natural process of your skin to go through. That's why they say never sleep with sunscreen. Like if your moisturizer has a sunscreen, don't use that moisturizer to sleep with. Yeah. You do need to have more. Your skin is revitalizing itself during night. It has its own circadian rhythm. Actually, we have cells that are communicating with our sleeping patterns and aligning everything. So in terms of your makeup, it depends where you are. If you're everyday heavy makeup user, good for you, bless you. Just make sure you have a very good moisturizer, and definitely would need a bit more exfoliation. Yeah, you would need to be aware of how your skin feels first of all, and just adjust to it.
Absolutely. What would you say is the most overrated ingredient or trend right now in skincare? Because you said before, like the cold Korean. I personally am a total fan of Korean. I mean, not total fan, but I have a few products that I really like. I have the feeling that the Koreans do the thing that you criticized before. They work with very new ingredients often. They are probably maybe not tested as long as the other ingredients we talked about before. But I think a lot of them work pretty well for a pretty good price.
So my objection about Korean skincare is 100% true, what you're saying. They are working with new ingredients, and they do have one of the most... They have different regulation as well, right? Yeah. This is a big part. So in Europe, for you to develop specific actives, and the percentage of actives that you can put into products is heavily regulated. Korean has a different structure of regulation, which means it allows you a lot of times to use higher potency of ingredients inside. Secondly, they do have a lot investment in research, and they do have quite new ingredients coming through, which is great. My objection comes to the part that Korean skincare is developed for specific Korean skin. Their skin is different than a person in Mediterranean, than a person who is in a Nordic country, and it's completely different than a person living in India or in UAE, where we are. And the needs are different. Our skin is actually metabolizing things differently. As a cosmetic chemist, you do learn to adjust how much oil you need in a product based on the ethnicity of the skin. And this is not in terms of being, don't get me wrong, of being racist or anything, but your
it's
ethnicity matters.
Proven that different races have different needs medically.
Exactly.
So I guess it also applies to skin.
Exactly.
And also, sorry to interrupt you, also one problem that I have with Korean skincare, and you have to be aware about and always look out for, is that they put like bleaching ingredients sometimes into the products, which for people like me would be completely counterproductive, because I don't want to get whiter than I am already.
Most of them have bleaching ingredients inside because this is their trend of beauty. But they definitely have some amazing ingredients like mucin. I love mucin. But again, mucin is working with your skin biome. That's the trick there. It has all the different bioavailability for your skin to be healthy and nurture your healthy skin biome. But my main thing is that whenever you go for, as you said, Korean, make sure your skin is loving it. Like if you're an oily person, I can see how Korean skincare could suit you better. But if you are after 35, coming from West, white skin, pay more attention how your skin reacts to it. Kind of. Like,
what would you say? What is a good time frame to test a product?
The first month, you start barely seeing something, and especially for someone, if you have everyday life, you have your problems, you're not going to pay that much attention. You need to use at least a product for 3 months. Okay. This is pretty much when your cells are, the turnover of the cells is whatever you put today, it goes and feeds the different levels of your
It regenerates skin. Then, I guess, at some
It will impact the very layer on the down rather than the top. The top needs to go away so you can start seeing whatever the impact of the product is. That's why they say you need at least 60, 90 days. It's the best time for you to see it, the impact of it.
If you personally had to build a routine with only 3 products, what would it be and why?
The truth is that this is pretty much what I'm using currently. I do use a cleanser. I find that about 70 to 80% of your skin healthiness comes from your cleanser, how you're cleansing. If you start wrong, you cannot do much afterwards. So a good cleanser, would sunscreen be a part of the 3 products, or is it considered an extra one?
Then let's say 4 including sunscreen.
Okay, so 4 sunscreen. And then in the middle, what I do need, I am quite active overall, which means that I would go to my yoga, I would go to the class or something. A lot of times I will wash, and I don't want to carry all the makeup that I need. So I do have like a mist, which I like to use even at office when I'm working, to refresh during the day, because a lot of times...
What kind of mist is it? This is like hypochlorous acid or something like this?
I'm using my own mist. Pretty much it's all about hydration and skin barrier hydration in terms of making sure it has 5 different humectants inside. And they're all supposed to work together synergetically. I don't use hyaluronic acid at all. Okay. Because hyaluronic acid...
is a bit overrated, right?
It depends on what type of hyaluronic acid you use. Most of them out there are high molecular, so they don't penetrate deep. And hyaluronic acid has been shown to perform very well in specific environments. If I put you to use a gel, which is just hyaluronic acid, and let you go out, for example, I will put an extreme here, either stay long hours under AC or get you out in the cold, your skin will start cracking. Because hydration puts water. But if your skin doesn't have oils to support that water and keep it inside, it's just gonna get out. And not only that, but hyaluronic acid, humectants are ingredients that bind hydration from the air inside. And if you're exposed to an environment where the environment is more dry than your skin, it starts getting out.
Okay.
So whenever you're using actually hyaluronic acid, make sure always you layer it either with cream on the top or with a sunscreen. Something that has a bit of oil inside to make sure that everything is protected and sealed in.
That makes total sense. What I find so fascinating about hyaluronic acid is how crazy the marketing about it is and how insane the prices are. I mean, you can buy a bottle of serum for, let's say, 30 dirham, and you can buy for 400 dirham, and it's the same thing. And I'm like, how? Like, who would buy a 400 dirham hyaluronic acid serum? This is crazy to me. Sorry to say, but this is when you think about, and it's one of, apparently, I'm not sure if it's true, you can correct me, it's one of the cheapest ingredients out there. So
yes. It depends on the molecular weight of the hyaluronic, 100%, but most serums they're usually a combination. But again, if you want hydration, get yourself a lactic acid. You're gonna get many more benefits in terms of hydration and actually skin tone and overall healthiness of the skin, rather than hyaluronic acid. I would never advise anyone to go buy a standalone product of hyaluronic acid.
I have it. I use it once a week only. But as you said, I use it under my moisturizing cream and like because I have dry skin, so I try to. What do you think about sheet masks? Because I think like sheet and this like jelly masks that are totally hyped on Instagram and TikTok. I see it all the time. Do you think that this is good for your skin, or does it depend, again, I guess, about the ingredients?
What ingredients go in.
Yeah.
So the logic of why sheet mask would be not as good, for example, as the gel one, it's because the gel just sits on the top, which means it seals all the hydration in your skin. So your skin pores will open easier to absorb more. The sheet mask would not have the same effect in terms of deliverable. But at the end of the day, it all matters what is in the essence that this mask is covering. And usually masks, any ingredients that help penetration, it's hyaluronic acid, low molecular hyaluronic acid.
Sorry to interrupt, how do we know what kind of molecular, like if it's high or low molecular hyaluronic acid? How do I know that? Because when I read it, it's like it says hyaluronic acid. So how, as a customer, can I know? Is there a way to find out? So most of the times,
the companies, whenever they have low molecular, they try to say that because it's more expensive.
Okay.
So that's one part. The second part, it's in the ingredient list. It's not always 100% accurate, but overall, your low molecular weight hyaluronic acid will be lower in the list because you don't need much of it. Oh, okay. Your hyaluronic acid, a lot of times you will find 2 hyaluronic acids in your ingredient lists. The top one will be the high, and the lower would be the low. So in terms of the percentages and how they should appear in the ingredient list.
Okay, that sounds logic to me.
One good bulk mark that I like to share with my clients is that glycerin overall usually goes at 3% in products. It's one of the best humectants you can find. It's been long studied, very cheap, underrated in terms, nobody really glycerin, but it's actually very good at what it does. So glycerin is around 3%. So whenever you buy a product and you see, for example, actives like niacinamide lower than glycerin, it's a good bulk point for you to understand if it's going to be less than 3% or more than 5%, for example.
Oh, okay.
And in general, ingredients that would be above that, not always, but it's a good benchmark usually to see there, like what's happening.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about actives, like retinoids and acids. Acids are the biggest thing right now, like BHA and AHA and whatever the names are. There are so many out there. Who should use them and who should avoid them?
If you're young, and I'm talking about young, like less than 25, less than 18, let me be more. There is no need for those things. Like, you can just wash your face with a normal cleanser and your skin is doing what it's supposed to do. You can introduce acids as you grow, of course, mild acids. You don't need strong acids. Like 3% acids, usually a combination of acids is the best way to go. And lactic is one of the best in terms of like, it increases hydration, it works on your smooth tone of, it gives you this glow a bit, and it's very gentle with the skin as well.
I love it. I use it also mandelic acid. I don't know what you think about that.
Yes, it's within the same sphere, 100%. BE has, for example, salicylic acid. It's more if you have more like pores. It helps that. It's very good at it. But again, I would not introduce it too many times. A lot of people layer a lot of products that have acids inside without even knowing that they have acids inside. And then you're layering again and again and again, and then your skin reacts, and then you're becoming
this is where redness. You destroy your skin barrier, right?
Exactly. Yes. And especially if your cleanser, imagine you cleansing, you over-cleansing, and then you're adding acids, and then on top of it, let's add a bit azelaic acid, and then let's add a bit of retinol.
It's too much.
It's too much for anyone to take.
Do you think that influencer skincare culture has helped education or made it worse?
That's a tricky question. How do you answer that? I am not a very influencer kind of person, and that's why I have not decided to take that path for my brand as well. I find that influencers can do what they think is right for them. I just don't think I would not take an advice from an influencer. They may put something on my radar, but I will do my research afterwards.
There are influencers that are specialists on the topic sometimes, seldomly, but there are also like this hair influencers that know a lot about shampoos and conditioners and you know, have a lot of following and are not prone to like being influenced by PR companies and whatever. But it's hard to distinguish that as someone who is just scrolling and you see a product recommendation. You don't know, does this product really work well, or is the person paid for to say it does? So it's very hard.
For me, for example, right, you can have doctors having nowadays their own channels and their own. I would see 5 different doctors, for example, and I will hear what they will say. I'm not saying they're saying wrong things, but I would apply my critical thinking. Does that make sense to me? What they're saying, does that validate the experience that I had with my skin? And depending on that, I would navigate that, hey, I don't very much align with the aesthetics or the approach of that doctor. A lot of doctors go and say, for example, have preventative Botox at 22.
Yeah.
There is this, and there is a merit to it. Does that merit align with what I would do on my skin? No, I will not follow that doctor, for example, because their approach to life is completely different than mine. And I think it's very important to apply this critical thinking on who we decide to get into our lives, because with the devices, we do allow a lot of noise coming through. And when you are constantly around noise, you start believing that noise because this is all you hear. This becomes your world. But being more critical about, I like that, I don't like this. That makes sense to me, that doesn't. We know our skin best. No one knows our skin.
The thing is, you need a certain maturity to be able to distinguish this. I think that especially younger women, let's say under 30 or under 25, are more prone to be influenced by these opinions, let's say on Instagram or TikTok, than me as an almost 40-year-old woman, you know. I have already more experience. I know my skin better than a 25-year-old knows hers, you know. So I think this is also a big thing. And when you say there are doctors saying preventative Botox at 22, I mean, they want to make money, you know. It's obvious. And
I realize that in this life, there is a path that we all have to go through. We have to make mistakes.
Absolutely.
And we have to learn on them.
Yeah.
And that's why you're here today doing this beautiful podcast of creating this awareness with people that, you know what, if you're feeling lost or here and there, start listening more to your own internal voice. We always have this internal voice inside of us, like, I want to do that, or I don't want to do that, or that scares me, or that doesn't scare me. There is a part of you have to overcome fear, but there's also part of truth in that voice, right?
Yeah.
Of like, if you feel like, I'm not sure about it,
then maybe don't do it.
Take a month, think about it, and do it later.
I also think that if you have a bad feeling about something already, you should listen to that. It has a reason why there is this bad feeling about it.
Yeah.
What do you think will be the next real innovation in skincare? Because as you said, there is so much happening. I have the feeling that every month there is a new active or a new like let's say PDRN is like a big thing right now, or I don't know what else comes to my mind. Anyway, so there is so much happening. What do you think will be a big innovation, or what is coming, or where is it going, the whole scientific process of skincare?
So my day job is I'm a data scientist, so I work in the world of AI for the last 11 years now. The next part where all this is trending for, it's personalized. And we're talking about personalized to your own sequence of DNA. We're talking to the very depth of it.
Okay.
I don't see how we will still have creams because we all like to do that, right? It's just a pampering routine. But in terms of getting down that hole, it's all gonna be done by AI. They can just take your skin in terms of, because wrinkles, and especially if you don't want to have wrinkles, it's a biological process. If you want to stop it, you don't stop it from the top, you stop it from the inside.
Yeah.
So we're talking about probably different type of supplements that are tailored for you specifically, but tailored to you based on your sequence of DNA.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of research happening at that level now, especially with AI. It helps sequencing and understanding our DNA exponentially fast.
Oh my God, yes. And
there's
also
so many things coming up every day. I have lost track of it.
Even in medicine, I think this is the next thing. Like, let's say personalized chemotherapy for cancer patients, and there is so much going on and happening, and AI will exponentially fasten this process.
It is doing it. Yeah. It is doing it. The thing is that I've been, whatever we are exposed as everyday people to as AI, this is the least what they have.
Yeah.
What actually the research is happening on, it's in much more advanced parts.
Absolutely.
So
people don't even know what's going on. Like, really, AI will be like the future for so many good things happening. I'm 100% sure. I mean, maybe there will be also a few bad things happening, but this is always, when you have a new technology, it applies to almost everything,
I've been listening a lot of podcasts the last 1 month or so, where we're talking about the absolute knowledge of like creating actually an AI that can be cleverer than us. And a lot of hypotheses are there. What's going to come?
This is the point where the scientist Ray Kurzweil, I don't know if you heard about him, he already wrote a book in the late 80s or beginning of the 90s that was called Singularity.
Exactly.
This is the point where AIs will be smarter than us. And he said it will happen around 2028. And he said so many other things that are true now. So I somehow believe that we will definitely reach this point in a few years.
I think the conversations that are happening out now, it's whether we want to reach that or not. But the prediction is that if the development of AI is going to continue on the pace that it has, we are approaching that singularity moment in 2027.
Yeah, so his prediction was quite accurate, actually, if that really should. I don't think we can stop it at this point.
We can definitely.
The thing is, do we want to? Yeah, okay, but this is too far maybe for this episode. But anyway, very interesting. So for skincare, also this would make sense, to use this technology for, as you said, personalized skincare, especially for people who have real problems, like let's say eczema or other like 100%. Medical conditions, not like just preventing wrinkles.
But eczema, skin is related to your biome, to your gut.
Yeah.
And especially eczema. And eczema has been shown again and again, most women are suffering from it. And that's because a lot of women, we don't express what we need. We always keep it inside.
Yeah. It manifests internally.
Stomach problems, then we have our gut problems, and so forth. So eczema, it's whenever you want to solve eczema, most of the advice is like stop sugar, stop carbs, and then your eczema will come down, because a cream can alleviate a symptom. It's not going to solve the problem.
Yeah.
It can maybe cool down your itchiness. It's topical. It's on the top of the skin. It's not going to solve what's happening underneath it. So unless you start looking into your diet, unless you start looking into how you live, how is your soul, how's your inner part doing? Like, are you stressed today? Are you not? How do you attend to yourself? All those are manifesting in our skin.
Yeah.
If I'm too stressed for a long period of time, I wake up and I look like not my best. Not my best.
I mean, yeah.
But if I have a happy day, if I'm on holidays and I have good holidays, I don't even need to put anything.
Yeah, you're
my skin is glowing.
Yeah. They also say this about pregnant women sometimes, that they like their skin is really nice. And I mean, obviously there is also the opposite happening to some women, but sometimes you just see that the skin is glowing, which has to do with hormones also, obviously, for women. Yeah. It's a hormone thing, and when we go through perimenopause and menopause, there is a lot of going on, which I think you can also see in the skin.
100%.
But yeah, as 100%. You said, skin is not the problem solver for all the problems that we have with our skin. Yeah.
Creams and skincare has its purpose in terms of maybe taking care of the surface of your skin, 100%. Yeah. There are some creams some ingredients that can work as, they interrupt, for example, wrinkles. You can have like there's like Botox, for example, where it stops so we have electric signals between our muscles, so interrupts the signals. So your wrinkles, when you talk, it's a bit having a Botox effect, but it's temporary. As long as you put it for 4 hours, 5 hours or so, once you wash it off, it's gone. It's not Botox, it's Botox-like. So you do have some ingredients that work for wrinkles, for the health of your skin, 100%. There's a lot of things like that. Very good ingredients. Panthenol, mucin, niacinamide, ceramides, beautiful ingredients, making sure your skin is healthy. But it's not gonna solve the problems of your life. Yeah. It's like, it's a tool. Yeah. It has its purpose. But if you're going and eating crap, not exercising, living a life of no care for yourself, I don't think you're gonna find any cream to solve any skin problems that you may have, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a complementary. I cannot keep drinking every day and then thinking, why does my skin feel so dehydrated?
Yeah. Just to come to an end, I have one last question for you. If you could give listeners one rule for the next 10 years of skincare, what would it be? Or one piece of advice?
Tune into your skin. Like, it's talking to you. If your skin feels, if you have, darker circles this month, something is happening in your body. Don't go against it. Don't go, oh my gosh, I need to go fix it now. Tune in, what's your habit, what you're doing, and then go solve the problem fast if you want through a treatment or something. But tune into the problem. I find that once you start looking at your skin and what happens to it in terms of this length of, it's talking to me now, it's there communicating a need that I'm not aware of. And how can I embrace that need rather than saying, oh no, I'm going to fix you, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's attacking to your own body while it tries to convey a message to you. And this is something that I have a very strong stance on. Like, don't do things on you, do things for you.
That's a beautiful message. That's really a good message for the end. That's it for today's episode. I mean, I could talk about this topic for hours and hours. But if this conversation gave you a new perspective, do me a favor and follow the podcast. Leave a quick rating and share it with one friend who's also into skincare. Athina, thank you so much for being my guest today. I will link all of Athina's details and resources in the show notes, so you can check out her work yourself. And if you're a brand listening and you'd like to partner with me, especially in beauty, wellness, fashion, or lifestyle, you will find sponsorship and collaboration info on my website. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been lovely to be here today.
Thank you. Stay iconic, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.